My name is Owen and I'll be talking about snakes. Now, snakes are the definition of friction. Without friction, there is no way a snake can move or function. Snakes generate waves, but they cannot move forward in the absence of friction. Instead, snakes rely on the friction to move. Sliding against surfaces, snakes' bodies create friction in different directions. This means less friction towards the front of the body than towards the back of the body, just in order to move forward. Crazy thing is that snakes use friction even while they're sleeping, which is handy when sleeping on an inclined plane, as it prevents them from falling. By the texture of their scales and how they are arranged, it resembles Venetian blinds on top of each other, creating passive friction. Snakes actively adjust their friction by modifying the relative angle between their scales and the surface to adjust their levels of friction according to their needs. Now, there are 4 ways a snake moves. Concertina. The previous methods work well for horizontal surfaces, but snakes climb using the concertina technique. This snake extends his head and front of his body along the vertical surface and then finds a place to grip with his ventral scales. To get a good hold, it bunches up in the middle of his body into tight curves that grip the surface while pulls back the end up. Springs forward and then again finds a new place to grip with his scale. Then we have serpentine. This S-shaped movement, also known as a undulatory locomotion, is used by most snakes on land and in water. Starting at the neck, a snake contracts his muscle, thrusting its body from side to side, creating a series of curves. In water, this motion easily propels a snake forward because each contraction pushes against the water. On land, a snake usually finds the resistant point in the surface, such as rocks, branches, or dents. It uses its scales to push on the points all at once, thrusting the snake forward. Speckled rattlesnake using rocks as a resistant points. Now, sidewinding is their next. Environments with few resistant points, snakes may use a variation of serpentine movements to get around, contracting their muscles and flinging their bodies. Sidewinders create an S-shape only has 2 points of contact on the ground when they push off. Lastly, we have caterpillar. The much slower method of movement, the caterpillar technique, also contracts the body into curves, but these waves are much smaller and curve up and down rather than side to side. When a snake uses caterpillar movement, the tops of each curves are lifted above the ground as the ventral scales on the bottom push up against the ground, creating a rippling effect. Similar how a caterpillar walks. Now, snakes benefit from their movement and they are able to spend a lot of time underground moving. This movement allows them to squeeze into burrows as well as eat small prey like gophers that create their homes underground. Snakes relate to nanotechnology by their nanoscale level hairs. These minuscule hairs, called microfibrils, point in the same direction and raise their ends of the snake, allowing a smooth glide forward, but stopping at any backward motion. If we can figure out how to apply this to nanotechnology and this type of movement, I believe that we can change the way we transport and the way of transportation for the better. Thank you.